Good evening, everyone. It is Wednesday, my favorite day of the week because we get to hear people's stories about using AO scan technology and everything else Solex. And we have got the most amazing stories every single week. This is year 3. We've been doing this every week, and we are excited to get started. We do want to remind you we are not making any kind of claims. We're not diagnosing, treating, curing, preventing, mitigating. We are talking about information technology because information is what allows you to make informed decisions. And the more information you have, the better decisions you can make. And if you don't have the information, you're kind of handicapped. So we have something that can give you information that you actually need to make health decisions. I would love to introduce my beautiful guest, Christina. She is helping co-host with me tonight from Canada.
That's right. Racing some snow. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And I really find this such a beneficial session every week. We get to learn so much from each other and, really gain more knowledge on the practical use of the AO scan. So let's hear what you've been up to this week.
Yes.
And I'm still admitting a few.
Fantastic. Who would like to start telling us something about their week and their use with the AO scan or anything else, Solex? And go ahead and unmute.
I can start if no one else wants to speak.
Fantastic.
Oh goodness, I've got this 3 ladies that traveled all the way from Quebec to come see me in Barrie, Ontario. One of the women has really bad blockage, like she's got pancreatic cancer. There's a blockage causing nothing from the gallbladder going in. So she's yellow. She's just yellow in color. And so I have been giving her the methylene blue, and then I have a red light chair and red light therapy. So she sits on there. We've been doing that along with Celsonic and CardioBed and multiple things. But today was day 3, and her friend goes, her forehead is yellow, but you can see that like up to here, she's starting to get a little bit of color now. So it's so exciting. But the biggest thing was she's not able to sleep at night. And so I gave her the sleep spray because, her naturopath told her you need to go get melatonin. I said, well, I have a sleep spray here. It's got melatonin. She goes, but is it homeopathic? And I said, well, I don't know, but it works. I'm telling you it works because other people have tried it and they weren't sleeping and they're sleeping now. So anyway, she tried it the first day. She comes in, she goes, oh, it didn't work. I said, you can't just try something once and go, oh, it doesn't work. I said, when our body gets depleted, we need to work it up to a certain level before you can see the benefit from it. So I'm like, look, I gave you my spray. It's not costing you anything. Use it again. And then I took a Cephi dot, infused the sleep frequency on it, and stuck it on her just for good measure. Well, she came in this morning so happy because she was able to sleep. She's like, I can't believe it. She goes, I still had to get up and go to the bathroom. But she goes, as soon as I went back in bed, I was out every single time. And how do you heal if you're not sleeping?
Right,
So it
exactly.
was just amazing.
Oh my
Amazing.
gosh.
No, so that, yeah. Yeah, so good to see the change in her. And, using the scans, her 2 friends that came to support her, I had to say to her, I said, your scans, her scans looked better than the other 2. And the other 2 are getting treatments too. And the point I was trying to make to her is just because they've labeled you with a label, you have this, doesn't mean anything. They haven't been labeled, doesn't mean that they're healthier. Right? So stop taking the label so seriously, people.
Yeah.
Just know that your body is amazing, and when you give it the right things, you're going to heal.
Yeah.
So it was such a beautiful transformation to watch them. And that's why, like, I take a picture of their face the first day they walk in, and then on the last day, I'm going to take a picture and then just post it from here to here in like 4 days or 5 days, however long they end up staying, right? But it's so cool.
That is
And then
amazing.
yeah, it's exciting. Honestly, I just get so excited and pumped up in how we can help people in just using common sense, with common sense in these tools, because you can't get it wrong. Everything is there. It tells you. You cannot make a mistake. And I tell them because I get a lot of people that are like, "Oh, I don't know how to use it." And I'm like, "Well, can you hit scan?" Yeah. Can you hit
Yes.
optimize? Yeah, I can. Okay.
You,
That's
you can
all
use.
you got. You're going to make a difference. Scan, optimize, move on to the next one. Scan, optimize, move on to the next one. And even that alone is going to make such a big difference while you learn how to make the playlist and use the Cephi and everything else.
Exactly.
And even that's not so complicated. Like the back office, all the information is there. Our team is amazing. We got leaders that'll help you do it all. So, the training's amazing. And so there's no excuse to be afraid of it. You
That's
know,
right.
let's just get it done.
I love that. I do want to speak on the sleep. For those of you who might not know what that is, our sleep product is really different than any other products that you would typically hear about or have in your clinics or someone tell you you need it. It's not a homeopathic, but what it is, it's a organ system solution, multi-organ system solution. So like most of the time people want to single out melatonin and say, oh, well, you should take some melatonin. Well, do they have a melatonin issue? They may or may not. It could be that their liver's congested and it is trying to detox at night and it's going to keep you awake because it can't do that function, or it might be another body system function. So they specially developed sleep with natural materials, natural organic resources that address the systems that are going to be doing their jobs while we're sleeping so that they're taken care of and nourished so that you can go to sleep, because it's those systems that are having problems that are keeping you awake most of the time, unless you've got a urinary situation, and we've got to take care of that. So that's what sets our sleep product apart. And it isn't healthy to give people melatonin that don't need melatonin, because we have to train their bodies to make melatonin naturally again. That needs to be addressed instead of just forcing melatonin at someone. So thanks for bringing that up. And thank you for being such a warrior with people. I mean, Shalou is just a go-getter. She just takes the bull by the horns and gets people going with this stuff and has phenomenal results. So she's impacting a lot of lives. Thank you for your stories. I love that.
Well, thank you. I have another one, and this is really interesting because my friend who is going to get started, she's going to Mexico. She's elderly, and she's like, when I come back from Mexico, I'm going to do it then. I'm like, fine. So until then, she wants me to keep scanning her daughter. And so she calls me up and goes, oh no, the dog fell down the stairs. Can you please just scan the dog? So I'm like, yeah, no problem. Now, interesting thing. So I'm scanning this dog, and doesn't it? Because I'm like, how does a dog just fall down the stairs? Right?
Right.
There's eye problems. It showed up in the scan. This dog has lymphatic blockage in the eyes.
Oh,
And there was
goodness.
something else, which I'll have to go back and look. But I'm like, I need to now bring it up to them and say, maybe the dog missed the step because there's an issue.
Yeah.
Right? So, anything else. You mean if they ran their dog into the vet would just treat, oh, well, he's pulled a muscle here or done this, wouldn't be able to get to the source of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, like this is a phenomenal system. I just love it. But yeah, like it's crazy. So, but just keep doing it, people. That's all I can say is just get on it and help people. I keep telling everyone I meet, one person, I need one Braveheart in every family to just take the time, because you cannot buy healthcare this cheap.
No
You
kidding.
cannot. Like, you can't. You know how many supplements, thousands of dollars are spent on
Yep.
supplements.
Yep. Or
And
clinic
here we
visits
can
with no
send the
answers.
frequency.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yep.
we can just set the frequencies and balance it out. And
And
so quick.
exactly. And now that puppy isn't going to risk falling again because someone found out why did they fall, because that's just not normal.
Yeah.
So now maybe they can
Yeah.
do something about the lymphatic congestion in his eyes so he can get his eyesight back. Amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Good.
I love it. Oh my goodness. All right. Who else wants to share something with us? And don't think that your story can't compare to somebody else's, because that's not what it's about. Every single story is powerful and it helps someone else. So please share whatever you got. We want to hear it.
I thought I'd share my TMJ story from this past week. I've been experimenting on
Awesome.
myself. So, I've been on my own extensive holistic dentistry journey. I could write a book on it, and I will at some point. And I have a phenomenal dental surgeon in Quebec that I went to who, when he placed my mouth guard, he actually put me on a TENS machine first. This is brilliant. Makes a lot of sense, right? To make sure that you're not clenched when you're actually having molds created for your face. So I've been using that for several years, and I thought, you know what, before I finish phase 3, which will unlock that part of the scanner, I want to start experimenting with just doing some playlists. So I've done some inner child healing stuff because I know there's some deep emotional stuff that's tied to that I'm actually seeing in a lot of other people. So that's kind of what inspired me as well. And then I've done another separate playlist specific to TMJ. So I've tried it for a week and I noticed a difference in the first night. So I
Wow.
woke up in the morning and I didn't have anywhere near the clenching. And then I thought, okay, maybe I'm just, let's just see what this is like if I stop. And so I stopped it. I didn't do any scans yesterday, last night. And I noticed a total difference with my clenching this morning. So I mean, it's just, I think what happens and what I'm observing with some people is they'll be using the scan for a period of time. And then you get used to the fact that it's working
Yeah.
and you take it for granted. And you're like, I don't think it's doing anything. No, it's doing a lot because then when you stop, you really start to see something different. So now I know it's part of my nighttime regimen is that I have those 2 items on my playlist. And that's until I unlock more on the scanner and take more training. So it's really important because I see so much TMJ stuff in everybody else's stuff when I'm working with them.
Yeah, isn't that phenomenal? You brought up some really great points. And I want to touch on one part here where you're getting great results. You think you're good. You stop doing it. Now the things are coming back. So, do we have to do this for life? Well, think of it in terms of muscle memory. Your body has gotten so used to functioning in a certain way. And to actually train it to do a different thing, it does take time. It's repeating that message. It's just like going to the chiropractor when they're trying to adjust the spine. If it's not a more regenerative chiropractor, they're going to keep snap, crackle, and popping you and expecting everything to fall into place. Well, it doesn't because you've got muscles, tendons, and ligaments that are used to being somewhere else, and they've all got to be on board. So it's going to take some time to get everybody used to this new way. So don't think that you're going to have to do this forever, but it is going to take that repetitive message until we remember now and we're different. So great points, Christina. Thank you so much.
I just let a few more in.
Great.
I'll
All
go
right.
next. Nobody
Great,
else.
Melissa.
Hello. So this is kind of a cool story. Jason and I were looking after, actually, it was just me, sorry. I was looking after my godsons last week and early morning, but I didn't want to miss out on doing my normal, my scanning and optimizing for myself and clients. So I took my iPad with me. And after I did what I needed to do, one of the twins is on the spectrum. So he's, on the autism spectrum, ADHD and all that. And so asking him to put his clothes on, and then he goes off into a la la land. I thought, okay, I'm going to send him some Cephies. Now I had him in the scanner from a previous illness that he had. So I just went right to my Cephies and I put in his name and focus and pressed play for, I think it was just 5 minutes, and I just watched him. I just watched him. He had no idea that I was doing this, or wouldn't even have a clue if he did know, but as soon as I pressed play, he turned around and he was just different. And all of a sudden he goes like this and he goes like this on his head, and I said, Hugh, what are you feeling? And he says, my eyes. And I just said, what about your eyes? And he actually said they hurt. So I wasn't really sure about that, but all I knew was that these frequencies were working for him. Like, I mean, there's no word of, you seeing is believing, and just watching the difference was pretty incredible. So he proceeded to just go upstairs and get dressed. And I kind of I watched him, right? I'd go up the stairs and follow him. And he was just a different kid.
Wow.
One stuffy. It wasn't even a playlist, just one focus. It was incredible. So that's my
Is
story.
Yeah.
These stories just are blowing my mind.
So then on the other twin, because I did tell him what I did after, right? So then the other twin says, "Well, what do you have for me?"
Oh,
Because I think there's a competition. So then for him, I gave him. He has some learning things in school, right? So I gave him accelerated learning, and it was because he knew that I was sending the frequencies, right? So then he says, "Oh, I love school. I can't wait to go to school," right? So I mean, there was a little bit of theatrics there, which I thought was hilarious, um, but just I just love. And he asked me, he says, "Auntie, can you play that for me while I'm at school?" And I said,
oh,
"Yes, I will." Whether or not he knew what it was going to do, I have it on a playlist for him. And when the boys are at school, I play them a playlist for each of them. So really, really awesome. So happy that we have this technology.
that is
Amazing.
amazing. You might also consider if they wear bracelet, if they would, there's those rubber bracelets, or we have a kids section. We have a kids line at Solex with the negative ion that you can imprint. But even if it's not imprinted, if them thinking that it's imprinted, like if there were a time you couldn't, because it needs to be charged in the sun every couple of weeks and then re-imprinted if it's been a negative environment can mess with our frequencies. But even having that can also keep their mind on the fact that something's working.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
amazing. Oh my gosh. Beautiful. Thank you, Melissa.
You're welcome.
I see a hand there. Is it Jane?
Jane.
That'd be
I
great to see you.
I will share. Sandy gifted me a week of using the frequencies, and I did a playlist for my sinuses. I've had chronic issues for like, I don't know, 10, 15 years. And so I was doing a playlist for my sinuses every day. And I really like, they're not perfect, but they are so much better.
Oh
And
my
like
gosh.
the chronic infection is gone. And like it got really intense for a few days, and I was doing sinus rinses, and like so much green mucus was coming out. Gross, I know, but now it's like when I do a sinus rinse, not much is coming out. I still have like some puffiness and tenderness in my sinuses, but huge difference. And then I also purchased the bracelet, and I have a partial tear on the bottom of my foot. So not only have I been putting it on my wrist, I've been sticking it in my sock when I'm watching TV at night, and it's really helping to bring the swelling and inflammation down.
Oh
So
my goodness.
I'm pretty excited about all that. Yeah,
That is
Wow.
pretty exciting stuff.
yeah, yeah. So I'm pretty excited about it and grateful because, yeah, the sinus issues have plagued me for so long, and I've had sinus surgeries and all kinds of stuff, and it's come back. So I'm excited to see with the continued frequency work if I just no longer have issues or need another surgery. It would be lovely.
That would be lovely because surgery is an insult to the body. And I understand there are times when we have to have surgery, but understand there are consequences to that violence. And my goodness, so the surgery is only trying to address your symptoms where the frequencies are trying to take care of the cause. And so if we can keep sending that message until the body just naturally resolves it, you're not having any more surgeries.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Amazing.
Thank you,
Very nice.
Jane.
you're welcome.
Oh my goodness.
We have Jennifer's hand up there.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
So I just was introduced to this yesterday by Melissa, in fact, and she contacted me because she's worked with my husband, and I've had sinus issues for the last year and a half that have been bothering me and plaguing me. And because I'm a wellness advocate myself, I was getting really frustrated with why I couldn't get rid of these sinus issues. And so Melissa had already talked to my husband about this technology, but we hadn't had time to look into it. She ran a scan on me, and then she broadcasted one of the Cepheid programs for my sinuses, and the difference was noticeable. She texted me at about 7 p.m. last night, and I wasn't near my phone, but my husband and I were marveling about how much my sinuses had improved. And as we were eating dinner, they started to get worse. And I was like, oh, this is weird. It's getting worse again. But the text she sent me at 7 p.m. was saying, I have to stop broadcasting now.
Oh,
And I was like, wow, like it was that noticeable. And so I bought it. We bought it. We subscribed today.
Amazing.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Melissa and Jason, way to go. They are just powerhouses. I mean, there's so many people on this call that is what they do. They are empowering people and changing their lives. And that's all it is, we don't have anything to be afraid of. If your scanner, if you're using it and nothing happens, you haven't lost anything. But look at what happens when you get out of your comfort zone and you're like, oh, let me try this and see what happens.
Mhm.
Amazing.
We
Thank you
still have
all.
8 minutes.
Would you
Plenty
say,
of-
Christina?
We still have 8 minutes, plenty of time for a couple.
Yes, yes, yes. Mary, did you have something? Or just stretching?
I was just stretching. I always
Okay.
say something, but I wasn't going to say anything.
You've always got great shares too.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll just share quick. I was doing upholstery and I was trying to get a staple out of a board. It was just, and I had a knife. I was just jabbing it, and I jabbed it into my thumb,
Oh,
and I had a big cut deep. And what normally happens is those cuts, they bleed and then they get infected most of the time for me. Well, I just quickly ran cut, and that thing is the next day was healed. It
Oh,
was, there was no
God.
infection, nothing, just running cut.
Oh my gosh.
This is so worth it for me.
Oh my
Nope,
gosh.
nothing. Yeah.
I love that some of you have mentioned just these single frequencies, because we can get really caught up in building this big fancy protocol and this big fancy playlist, and we've got to make sure we add all the things. But when you seriously, I hear and see the most profound results if you pick the one thing that's really the problem and you just focus on that. Because I know Lauren says your body's going to take exactly what it needs, but there is also theories of overwhelming the body, overwhelming the nervous system, which is why, these jabs that they do with 13 different things at once, that is completely overwhelming to a body. We need to give it some time to think about what it's trying to do. So thank you for sharing these. Just get in there, pick one thing. That's the thing. And you're going to get amazing results. That's not common.
Mhm.
Wow. Thank you. I've actually put one through my hand and I did have to get stitches because I didn't have a scanner at the time.
Saves me. It saves.
Yeah. Yeah. Guys, we've still got 6 minutes. What else have you got to share? Tell us.
Shalu, you have another one? I see your hand up.
I do. I just remembered. Oh my God, this one is so crazy. Christina, you might even know this lady. Pat that comes to my restaurant. She's like 94 years old. You cannot, you could time her arrival every single day. Like it's like clockwork. She will be there at 12. She's going to stay there till 1:30. She orders her bus to come drop her, pick her up, the whole thing. She's been coming to my restaurant for like 12 years now, right? Well, doesn't she get this sinusitis that's going around, like whatever the new virus is.
Yeah.
And the people on the bus refused her to come on because she was coughing and just sounding a little nasally. And you don't take this woman's routine away from her because that's her life. Like she's sharp as anything, right? So, and she'll call the restaurant every day, even though we know she's coming, she'll call and she'll make her reservation to make sure, because it's the one table that is only for her. It's reserved all the time for her, right? And so when she called in to say that she wasn't coming in because they refused to pick her up, So she opened up to my son and she goes, I need to talk to your mother, because she was just so afraid. She goes, I need to get rid of this. I can't have this. So, my son is like, Mom, she's really, really concerned. Like, I've never heard her so worried. She wants to talk to you. So yesterday when I spoke with her, she was talking about how she just can't breathe and it's in her chest and all this. So I said, look, I'm going to send the pearls. Why don't you try one? Just try it, because it really opens up your respiratory. So, try it. And if you like it, then we can talk. So today my son brought, because I didn't have a bottle to sell, I got to order some more because I'm sure she's going to want it. But he brought a few and let her try one and gave her 5 to keep to try over the next few days, right? He's like, Mom, I've never seen her smile so big. She was like, I can feel it working right away. She was able to take a deep breath, and you literally feel your whole respiratory system open up, right? And so he's like, oh my God, because she's 94 and sometimes she can be really grumpy, because life is hard and all the aches and pains at that age. But still, she's a trooper. She's out here every day. But he was like, Mom, it was a real genuine smile. He goes, I could not believe. And she's like, oh my God, I can feel it working within like minutes of taking one. So again, like powerful, powerful supplements we have. They're amazing.
That is awesome. How exciting for her. And it's so cool that you keep product on hand that you can just give somebody a few to, like giving somebody the rest of your sleep or whatever, so they can experience it right now. Otherwise, they're waiting a week. So I just got my AO Energy today after 6 weeks. Pretty excited, but I haven't had a chance. People waiting for this stuff. We've been waiting for 6 weeks. So I'm really excited about this because people need an alternative, a safe alternative for energy, especially one of my daughters is pregnant. So we need a safe energy booster for her. Yes, grandbaby number 6 is coming in July. I'm so excited. But how great that we have these natural, safe products that give people instant results.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had some instant results with a friend of mine. I've been optimizing for about a month and a half. She's high stress, she's got a stressful executive job on an airplane a lot. And so she's had the band, the blue, and I've just been doing very basic optimization. And her husband is actually a pretty, he's been in the supplement business for 30 years, but his company can't make the blue. So they've just ordered like 4 bottles because their brains are instantly topped up. Like within a day, she was like, I need more of that. So, but it really shows like when you can start to get the synergy between that powerful blue, the light, and a couple playlists, or just simple optimizing, it's making such a shift for people who are stressed and don't have time to do a lot of self-care.
Man, you're right. That's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of people don't understand the brain benefits of blue. And with that 660 red light, that's amazing. People get great results. We've got some people that just do a blue and gold protocol with the 660 band for all kinds of certain health issues, and they're just getting phenomenal results. But I love this high stress because they don't have time. They're not going to take time to do a bunch of stuff, and they can, blue and 660, they're going to be a powerhouse, have clarity and recall and all of that. Thank you. And we need to close out. As much as we could go on and on all night long for days and days and days, but this has been powerful half an hour. Thank you all for showing up and taking time out of your schedule because, well, we can't do this without you. But look at all the lives that are being impacted. And now we also have ideas and different ways to share. And so I don't know what Solex is doing, something about lymphatic tonight. I'm pretty excited. Tomorrow night, I did want to apologize. Anybody that came last week for the AO scan presentation, I had a family emergency and couldn't be live, but I tried to do a replay. And apparently the audio didn't come through. So I apologize for that. I will be live tomorrow night. Bring your guests. If you just want your own refresher on AO scan, whatever, we'll do that live tomorrow night. Christina, can you close us out, hon?
Yeah, thank you all so much for joining us this evening. We're going to hop on to the YouTube channel if you'd like to join us, Solex LLC. And that's where we're going to have the weekly update. Today's focus is on the lymphatic system. So we'll hopefully see you again next week with your stories. Thank you so much.
Love you all.
Take care.
Thank you, Christina.
Thank you. Bye.